Wisla Krakow versus, well, the rest of the world, really, to say the least, going into this stream. Now, they were a replacement invite for MIBR in 9 to 5-5. So Wisla came in as a replacement invite. Now, they placed second in 9 to 5-3. 9 to 5-4, they didn't have the greatest time. I think they got eliminated in the Swiss stage. But this was a really decent run for this team. Now, I've had the chance of casting Wisla like over the course of this year. The lineup's been together for a relatively long time. You've obviously got a very experienced in-game leader. Aspero was playing on like what, ESC, a G2 when they had a Polish team. So he's been on the lineup for about a year now with Mino, and then they kind of brought in some newer, younger talent. Like Hades, this guy, I think he's 20 years old, really damn impressive. He's an AWPer with a lot of confidence. He might not be that nutty, but like he hits some pretty sick shots, and he's pretty damn consistent. Probably one of the stars of this side. And then you've got Jedka and Podcheck. Now Podcheck for me is a very solid, like kind of supportive player. But he really showed up in the playoffs of 9 to 5. He had some really big performances, some really big clutches, some great multi-kills on CT side. So I just kind of want to like dive through their run. So they actually beat Mad Lions to get 35k, which is a hell of a lot of money. Their first debut placing this entire year. They haven't won an event, so big congrats to them. So it started off against K23. They get a 2-1 victory. Nothing really too special here. They win out their own map, pick a train. They lose Dust 2. They have a relatively close nuke. I think their T side was really impressive. Yeah, their T side of nuke looked really on point. But the two games we're going to be focusing on today are going to be this game here, Wisla Krakow and Sprout, and Wisla versus Mad Lions. Now, the Sprout game, they won their own map pick, they lost us too. Now, they came into train, and they were down, what was it, 14 to 8 or so? Like, they were down a fair bit. So, yeah, 14 to 9, 15 to 10. They ended up going flawless to get to overtime, and then won out against Sprout to make it into the semifinals. Now, we didn't cast this game. We were doing the other side of the bracket, so we did the Existence Mad Lions game, where like Mad Lions just absolutely shat on Existence. Like they completely wrecked them in a 2-0 fashion. What was it? Yeah, 16-5, 16-1. Like just absolutely smoked them. I feel for Existence because they had Tensky standing in and their coach standing in too. But that's not really why we're here today. We're here to focus on Wisla. So that was obviously a really big game to be able to come back and then go into the grand finals where they faced off against Mad Lions. Like, I'm going to be honest, when I was watching, because obviously our game was a stomper, so train hadn't started when our game finished, and I looked at it and thought, who would I prefer to see in the grand final? Probably Sprout. I would rate Sprout to be a stronger team. They're going to your DreamHack events. They're going to your ESL ones. Yeah, maybe they don't have the biggest of placings, but at least they're being involved in those events and they're getting that big top international tier 1 experience. But in saying that, I think it was really great to see Wisla in the final. So we saw them getting taken on a Mad Lions. I don't know like why I honestly predicted this, but I had a bit of a gut feeling that Wisla could maybe upset. And the reason for that, when you look back to 9 to 5-3, they got a win over MIBR. Yeah, that was the old MIBR side that was really struggling. They looked really impressive, and I predicted them to go 2-1 because they beat MIBR 2-1 in 9 to 5-3. They beat North, so I was thinking, okay, you know, they seem to be a team that upset pretty well. I haven't seen too much from them. They've had some decent runs. I casted their K23 game. They looked pretty good. Didn't see much of what they had against Sprout, but this could be a pretty good final. I was thinking, right, it can maybe be down to the wire, or Mad Lions just absolutely wreck and just 2-0 this series. Nuke, Wisla actually put up, like, although you look at 6 rounds, like their city side was actually really good, I thought. They held a good contest against Mad Lions. They lost 2 1v1s and still put up 6 rounds when they lost Pistol, I think. Oh no, actually, they won the anti-eco. So they got off to a relatively good start. Mirage looked really good. They looked pretty on form. They were having a couple of solo plays. Let's see if there was any like big performers. No, nothing really too massive on Mirage. And then we go into Overpass, and they're down 8 to 14. and they come back. I'm not going to show the OT. I'm not going to show the whole overtime because we don't really need to see OT. I just want to show the comeback to getting to OT because like OT was just so back and forth. Like both teams were just double AWPing. It was like clutch after clutch after clutch. Who was going to be able to make bigger plays? So that's what we're going to be diving into today. So looking at the buy straight away, right? It's not fantastic, especially when you're down in this kind of a deficit, when money is being built up relatively nicely for the T side. They've won the last 2 rounds with, what, 3 players staying alive. You've got Dia putting up 29 kills and 16 deaths, so you've got to think, like, won that round, got reset. Money's a bit awkward. Mino's on an MP9. They've got 1 incendiary on that CT side. They've got the AWP out for Hades, so the buy isn't looking that fantastic for the Wisla side. Let's just see how they play it out. So playing 1 towards inner of Ponchek, 4 outer, fast brown horse control coming in for Sprout, forcing Ponchek off angle really quickly. The Sparrow tries to go for an opening duel out from Pop Dog. Couple of outer smokes on the T side, but no control's been taken just yet. Nothing out from Ivy from the T's. 1-for-1 trade coming out from Farfan, peeking out from T-Con, and just a slow walk coming out for the T's actually. So Sprout just try and slow walk their way out from Pop and T-Con, lose the jewels, then start regrouping up towards Brown Halls. Second player rotates over from Hades, gets caught super off guard. Does he repeak this? Puts a smoke down. Okay, I like that he didn't repeak immediately. Ponchek's going super aggressive. Wow, okay. That was a really important solo duel. Good trade from Snatchy. They've got a backstab coming in from Mino. Speedy's last one left. Mino's coming in backline. Speedy probably doesn't expect this at all. Really quick back around. That's a pretty good round from Wisla. Great rotations coming out. Good solo play from Ponchek. Bit interesting that Sprout just like dry walked out. Like they kind of went for a bit of a double pump setup, going early nades and then just walk out with pretty dry, hardly any util. Another full buy coming in for Sprout. 14-10. I think they win this round, actually. So it seems like Ponchek early rounds just playing solo inner. Got a player Ivy. Now, Sprout didn't put any pressure towards Ivy in that last round. Double Ivy play. They might try and go aggressive here. Yeah, okay, they saw contact. So I think they wanted to walk Ivy there, but as soon as they catch off, or Dia, or at least information seen, they decide to back off instead. Ponchek's actually decided to go really deep. We saw in the last round he was playing close ramp, but now going really passive, so meaning that if he gets overwhelmed, he can at least not have to give up like a 1v1 duel. Ooh, Snatchy. That's a great shot into Con. And that probably limits the rotations from Sparrow too. That molly coming in, smoke going down. Look how aggressive the T side are getting too. Like they're trying to take the fight before the bomb's even planted. Dennis going super aggressive. Ponchek again, really great duel out from the B bomb site. Oh, this is a sick play from Dia actually. This might catch everyone off guard. I think he came out from SL. Yeah, cleaned up. No one watching backstab at all from Wisla. Not a lot that Ponchek did wrong, actually, being the B anchor. Just decided to play passive. Again, gets a really great duel. The thing that probably hurt the most for Wisla is that they tried to rotate in from Con, and Sprout already pushed so aggressively without the bomb getting planted. Molly came into Con, so it slowed it down, and then finally when the rotations do start to come through, they've got a backstabbing player of Dia that's just completely unexpected. Redeem the 1v1. We might have to do that a little bit later on, Hallie. So 15-10, money is like awful. God, I can't believe they actually won this. Look at the buy that's coming forward. Now, one thing I will say that we've been seeing a massive amount, obviously over the years, but I think certainly like the last 6 months in the tier 2, like tier 3 scene, is how many anti-ecos are being won. I think CIS teams are probably the most proficient. Your K23s, Hard Legion 4s are normally really top teams when it comes to those anti-ecos. I think even Endpoint are a pretty good anti-eco team, but certainly like top teams are struggling. Whenever we're doing these like multi-vibes, 9 to 5, whatever it may be, and you've got like a Sprout or a Mad Lions or an MIBR or North, and they're facing off against like a Wisla, an Aves, Honorous, like it seems like the top teams really struggle against the anti-ecos in the current state. I mean, look at the buy. They've got, well, 2 rifles if you include the scout. It's a couple of MP9s, a deagle. An awful buy. I'm honestly surprised Sprout didn't convert from here. I think there was even a team nade that bounced a bit funny. Ooh, good shot from Spirit. This is a very fast run out from Ivy from the T side with Bomb solo now. Good trades coming out for the CTs, just trying to play around the smoke. Hades with a bit of an off angle from E-Box. Good shot to bring that bomb back. They've got Ponchek coming in behind. For Jedka, he's just got to try and stay alive here. Wait for Ponchek to make a bit of a play. 57 HP with a MP9. I think they know where he is. Bait and switch. Good swing out from Jedka as soon as that bomb goes down. So, yeah, Sprout probably shouldn't have won that round, in all honesty. But that's pretty nice from Wisla. Nice angle, actually, coming out from Hades, the E-Box line. Like, a lot of the time, you might get an AWPer that sort of sits, like, here. And then you've got, like, a player in pop, and then maybe someone, like, Olaf or maybe pushed into T-Con, and then you can have an aggressive AWPer like standing in to look towards that Ivy angle. But with a deagle, you don't expect players to be holding that, so that was pretty nice. So 11-15. Again, with only 2 players staying alive, it does mean the money is still a bit shaky. I don't even know if Jedka's got a weapon in front of him. Oh, yeah, he does. Okay. So the util is the only thing that's a little bit limited here. Not massively, of course. Like, you've got full sets up. Hades is just on a little bit. So, not a massive amount. If it went down to 1 player staying alive, it could have been a big difference. And for Sprout, they realize in a situation like this, there's no point just force buying. They might as well just go for a half buy, play out round 17, see if you can get a bomb plant, see if you can do some damage, maybe take some of the, at least one of the AKs out of play. So Wisla getting a bit of a read that maybe it's a B bomb site hit. They're bringing 2 players over early without any contact, which is something they haven't done in the past. Ponchek just playing crossfire with Hades, watching up towards that heaven position. So already the info's come out. Snatchy's probably just going to swing again. So they've already got heaps of info. Ponchek, rather than just fighting here, just puts a molly down to default, just tries to fall back. Damn, Hades is fucking doing everything here. AWP's just connecting onto everyone. Speedy the last one left. Ponchek has an idea of where he is, so he's just waiting, doesn't need to swing out too far into the open. So just holding on to his life, making sure that they don't give up any unnecessary jewels. Good 12th round up for Wisla. Now we go into the buy. Now, actually, I want to go back just a second, just have a look at the buy from that last round. So you have a look in round 27, right? Like, I think this is a wasted amount of utility to come, a wasted amount of economy to come through. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, kid, if you're still here. But I look at this and I'm like, right, they are on first round loss bonus at 2,900. What's the chance of them getting a bomb plant? I mean, with the buy, maybe. But how much economical damage are you going to be able to do to Wisla long term here, right? Because the only way Wisla's economy stays strong is obviously if they keep winning rounds. If they lose a round, it's already 16 for Sprout, game's done, you go into the grand finals. Now, in a round like this, I think it's just too much of an investment here. You've got Dennis down to 1,400, Dia down to 1,400, and they don't really do too much damage in this round at all. See what the money line is like at the end of the round, but it looks pretty awful. Alright. So, we're going into round 28, and first tack pause actually coming out for Wisla. So, you'd have to expect this is going to be a half bar right from Sprout. You kind of need rifles on CT train, though. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, CTs just keep buying. But I'm more talking about the Sprout side. Like, what are you achieving in really buying up a decent amount? Like, Dennis goes 8k last round, Dia buys down to 1,400. Like, I don't know. I just think sometimes it's just mismanagement of economy. Because, yeah, maybe they wanted to say, okay, we're buying in 29, but if they would have really harsh ecoed in that last round, then they probably get a buyout here. And Wisla are probably going to get the same buy no matter what the buy was in that last round. So, anyway, it is going to be a half buy, so it gives another round really up to the Wisla camp. Nades up towards T-Con. Taking a bit of Ivy approach. Now, this is one of the first times I've actually seen a bit of aggression coming out to Ivy. They've been pretty passive about the most part. Jedka spamming through the sandwich smoke. Flash coming in over the top does give them a bit of an indication that it's going to be an AXE. Wow, Spiro gets super caught off guard there in E-Box. What? Wow, they just cleaned that up. That was really nice from Sprout. They had some really good placings in terms of their positioning. Statue's been able to pick up an orb. Doesn't need the shot. Turn it into a 1v1. And not a bad eco. I mean, it's not going to really do any economical damage. They'll just be able to keep buying. They're now running double orbs, which is something we saw from them a little bit in the grand final too against Mad Lions, was running double orbs, especially in OT. Give me the aim jewel. Mate, you'll get it after the demo review. Don't worry. Don't worry, you'll get it. Okay, so 2 to go to get to 15-15. I mean, overall from Wisla, it's been pretty passive on this CT side. We've never seen Ponchak get aggressive in brown halls. We're not seeing them take T-Con control. Occasionally, they're getting a player into pop. But overall, they're being pretty passive on the CT side. Maybe a bait and switch to come out here with the AWP and the M4 towards the server racks for Mino. Sprout slowing it down. They've already got a player towards brown halls of Dennis that's been clearing it out earlier in the round. Baiting out a fair bit of util too from the Wisla camp. I mean, you have a look. You got a minute left on the clock. They've got 2 incendiaries and just flashbangs. So Sprout have done a pretty good job with using a little bit of util here or there, showing a bit of presence towards Ivy to actually bait out utility from this city side. So there isn't actually that much left to defend against the X here. Are they going to take pop? Well, they might actually. Jedka's getting super aggressive here. Flash in. Nice. Good play there from Wisla. Oh, he might even be able to get 2 kills. Great timing on that too, because as Sprouts start to go in for the split into A out from T-Cod and Pop, that's when Jedka starts to make a bit of a move in. Damn, he finds 2 kills. What a sick round from him. Great timing. And Mino's hearing them back off. So he goes right. They're probably saving. He's 30 seconds left on the clock. Sprout in a position like this might as well just instant save. So Mino's probably got that info that they were backing off from T-Con. So that's probably why you've got Ponchak playing really passive at B in case they wrap around through brown holes. But great timing on that. I like the way that Wisla were taking back map control. They hadn't cleared out pop in the early round, so they flash in. It pops absolutely fantastically. I'm not sure if it was Fafan or Dennis. One of those players was just so blind. I think it was Fafan because I think Dennis was the second player to fall. So good use of utility to retake map control, especially with how limited it was. Haven't really seen the double orbs do too much. It seems like it's the riflers that are doing the majority of the damage. Now for Sprout, they decided to, complete save with 3 players in the last round, so they get a decent buyout, but again, Fafan's going to be on a deagle. And these last, 4 rounds in a row from Wisla, you had a close 2 players staying alive, then 5, then 2, then 5, so they've been a little bit hit and miss with how convincing they've been. They've had a couple of close rounds. But, yeah. Rotating AWP of Hades over to B. Taking a bit of Ivy control. I tell you what, Mito might even go deep Ivy this time. Get even more info. Flash over the top. Flashes in. Doesn't see anything. Smoke goes down. Simple as that. Got complete Ivy control on the CT side. They can leave Mino here for a little bit. Get some info. Statue's got very aggressive. And I tell you what, that scope I was just going to say might get heard from Ponchak. So, again, Ponchak's been one of these players at B who's been able to stay alive for a long time, especially when they've hit B. But they've kind of over-rotated here. They brought 3 players over to B, and that's allowed Dia to go very aggressive. It does get caught off. Look at the damage that's done. Snatchy low, Dia low. And now it's retake mode on. Nice shot from Spiro. Speedy needs to be able to find like a bit of a response here. 2 players coming in from connector on the city side. Damn, the AWPs are doing everything. Farfin towards E-box. Now Speedy's last one left. 1v3. Bombs planted. 1v2. Try and play the time. But yeah, Hades, great work from him. Good recovery shot. And yeah, look, for Wisla, I think what's really great is that they're not pressured. I certainly saw in that round that they weren't too chaotic and too pressured to get in for the retake really quickly. They had a bit of a misread that it was going to be a B-site Xe. I think when Snatchy's AWP and the kill came through from Ponchak, they brought 2 players over to B. Ended up being an outer hit, and Sprout even had players towards Hell. So again, just looking at this, I think Sprout have missed capitalization on a lot of opportunities in terms of map presence where they haven't converted. And Wisla just did really well in that retake. They were hitting their shots. The AWP set up some really great crossfires. Speedy wasn't allowed, well, he was kind of allowed 1v1 duels, but for Hades, he's got the confidence to peek out while his teammate's defusing the bomb, so it's not like they're just offering up 1v1s without anyone on the bomb. I might as well just play out the OT. I mean, it's only 4 rounds, but I won't for the next game. So Sprout at this point are thinking, like, guys, like, what's going on? We were up 14-9, 15-10. We've lost 5 rounds in a row. Yeah, the economy wasn't great for us. We didn't really get too many full buys out, but they're probably sweating a little bit. I mean, Dia's having one hell of a performance, 30 kills, 22 deaths. And for Wisla, one thing I have noticed is whenever they've got money, they're always running double AWPs. It's just what they like to do. Maybe not so much on every map, but certainly on Train. Hey, even Spiro gets the opening pick to Ivy. Oh, great swing out from Mito. Just catches Dia off with utility out. I tell you what, timing on a lot of their duels has been absolutely stellar so far in this comeback. Just getting, you know, hearing the pin being thrown from the smoke, he just quickly goes out and takes complete Ivy control. Picks up an AK. And now for Sprout, looks like they're just regrouping Brown Halls. Look how passive the B players are too. Ponchak just jump spotting for the Heaven play. Spur with the AWP. Smoke goes out, puts it down a little bit of a utility. An Incendiary to just slow down the push. They could potentially bring in another player if they want. I think Hades could be on rotation. Jedko hasn't seen anything from Pop, so he can be a quick wraparound through Brown Halls. More util, man. Like, it means that Sprout just have to push through this smoke, and now for Ponchak, he's going to get a bit of an... Ooh, I was going to say a bit of an angle of elevation on that, but it doesn't really matter. It seems like the AWPs were just fighting their impact. Farfin, again, player in a backline, time so low, he's got to try and pick up the bomb. Yeah, nothing he can do there. AWPs are looking great from Wisla. I thought utility was really good too. Like for Sprout, they had a tough time getting out of ramp. Incendiary went down when they went for the first ramp smoke. They went for their second ramp smoke. It got re-smoked again from the city side. So every time they went for a play or they went to try and run out from ramp, there was just counter utility from the city side placed really well. Sprout going for something a bit quicker now, maybe? Or just faking the quick upper hit? Jeez, look at the amount of flashes. Oh, Ponchak, look how aggressive he is. Ooh, only finds one, but look how quick the rotates are. Man, that was a sick play from Ponchak. And I'll tell you what, his versatility at this B bomb site's been great. He's constantly been changing up his position. He's been playing like close ramp. He's been playing Summit. He's been playing back blue, top blue, close ramp. Hasn't really been playing around the spools. We saw that one round where he was playing back heaven, just jump spotting. So it seems like every round he's playing a different position, and it's so difficult to read where he's coming in from. They just try and push through the smoke too, rather than just wait it out. Gets one kill, at least halts for as long as possible. Rotations come in super, super quickly. Jedko is able to get 3 kills. Hades finishes off the round, 17-15. So at this point for Wisla, you know, they've got a bit of a streak going. It's 7 rounds in a row. They're really pumped up. They're winning some pretty good rounds. Individuals are having some really big moments. And at this point, it's like, how do you lose this for Wisla? Because there's so much momentum, so much confidence. So 17-15, 2-0 so far in OT. Sprout's trying to take some control towards top. Pop Dog. Mino actually gets aggressive in through T-Con. I think Sprout getting a really tough time on some of these reads from Wisla. Like, they're taking sometimes Ivy, they're taking T-Con. Jedka, unfortunately, wasn't quite in position to be able to trade that, so opening pick goes the way of Sprout, and now they're in a bit of a disadvantage. I think DR, I obviously didn't get to say that, but whether he just slow walked out or tried to flash, but he loses a 1v1 duel to try and get some Ivy presence, and now as soon as Sprout have a man advantage, which almost feels like forever, it's traded back immediately, and they're now just in an even man. Spiro again drops that bomb too. The info is so great here. And they've even, like, thought about rotating Ponchak. He's playing Con. There was a moment where he rotated back to A to have a full-man stack. But looks like it's going to be a bit of a B play. He's got a HE and an Incendiary. Man, I don't know about that. Like, he made it work, but if he would have lost that fight 3v3, they take complete bomb side control, then that could have been a tough one for Wizard to bring back. But again, I think Ponchak's confidence has been one of the biggest elements that he's brought over to B. He's been winning out a lot of fights. He hasn't been too over-aggressive. He seems to be doing really well as a solo anchor. So 18-15, Wizard are now 8 rounds in a row. Again, this is map 3 in a semi-final. Big moment here for Wisla to be able to convert. They're taking their second tactical pause, right, saying, right, we've got 3 opportunities. We only need 1. I mean, even Sprout, they're going, what, Dak auto sniper on a Farfan, probably AWP up for Snatchy. They could maybe go double AWP on a Dia if they wanted to, or Dennis. I know that Dia or Dennis picks up secondary AWP on T side every so often. Yeah, Dennis is going to pick it up. And for Sprout, it's been a bit of a choke. And Wisla have capitalized on that. So into the T side, which I've got to be honest, I didn't get to see too much of it on the broadcast for the T side. I only saw a brief glimpse. I think I joined the stream at like round 12 or something, so I only saw a couple of T rounds. Wow, great opening duel from Hades. Flash in, straight into Ivy, just opening contact, easily being found there from Hades with that T side AWP. And then for here, it's almost a position where Sprout have to make an aggressive play. They have to be able to try and bring this man advantage back. Speedy just trying to get rid of that AWP, making sure that it's at least recoverable if he wants to pick it up later in the round, and that he doesn't offer it up to the T side. Double nades into Pop. No one's playing there, so not going to be doing any damage. It looks like they're just regrouping in Brown Halls, maybe going for a B-site XE. May just leave Mano to be a bit of a lurk out from T-Con. Dia's alone. Now, they do have a quick rotate potential from either Farfan or Snatchy into this B bomb site. Very, very silent here for Wisla. They've slowed it down a lot after finding the opening pick. Heaven lurk smoke. Rotation's still not coming through yet. They're not sure. Is it a fake? Are they going back to A? Oh, I think this might be a bit of an A play. It seems like Snatchy was thinking about rotating. Farfan's already gone. They're going down through Pop Dog, through their own smoke. Good read for Sprout to not completely over-rotate. They've still got Speedy towards back green. This is opportunity. 1 kill. Drops that bomb. Time's low, but Dia's now the last one left. I tell you what, that was a pretty sick round from Wisla. Try and sell them on the B fake, see if they can catch them off guard, out of position. And they make that work. They get this 15-19 victory. Let me just see if I can pull up their stats at the end there of Train. Yeah, big map coming out for Ponchak and Jedka, really stepping up when it counts. Be interested too in the AWP duels. So look at this. Look at this from Hades. Like how proficient he's been with the AWP across the entire series. Like this isn't just one map combined. We can maybe have a look at Train in particular. He had a pretty tough time with the AWP duels against Snatchy, but against everyone else on that Sprout side, he did really well. Let's have a look at Train in particular. Like 7-0 against Speedy. Like, man, that's insane. Not bad at all. So, yeah, I think that was a big result. Overall, to be blunt about it, I still think that was a bit of a choke coming out for Sprout. I don't think they capitalized on some of the rounds they could have to close out there. But sometimes it's not always about who plays better. It's about who delivers. And for Wisla, they delivered. They had some really nice retakes there. I think the AWPs towards the end of that comeback were hitting some really great shots. They were retaking map control at a really great time. Their utility usage was really on point. I think Ponchek was a really great B anchor, was holding his weight really well, was consistently staying alive, consistently finding impact, whether it was an open kill and falling back, or a 2-for-1 trade. Like he was always doing really well to at least find an advantage being at B. Can sometimes be a tough ask being a strong B player, because if you don't get any action, you sort of feel like, oh, I need to make a play, or I need to be doing a little bit more. But I think he was really proficient at B, and it certainly showed that on Train he put up some big numbers, 32 and 20. On CT side too, 17 and 8 for an anchor at B. It's pretty impressive. Okay, so that's the Wisla Sprout game covered. If you've got this far, I am sorry to announce that this is only part 1. I thought that once getting to about the half an hour mark, it might be a little bit too long to continue on. So, part 2 will be released over the next couple of days. That will include the demo between Wisla and Mad Lions for the grand final of Betway 9-5-5. So, once again, many thanks for tuning into the video, and watch out for part 2.